All right, so today we're diving deep into just afraid of mediocrity becoming your life's annotation. It's a pretty powerful title when you think about it. And it's by Ouyang Lisong, a high school Chinese language teacher. I'm really curious to get your take on this one.
Yeah, I mean, just that title alone is really thought-provoking, isn't it? Kind of hits you right in the gut a little bit, makes you think, do I want to be just okay? And Hu Zhang seems to have a lot to say about that. He's coming at this from a very interesting perspective. He's a teacher at Danfeng High School, and he's got this incredibly strong academic background. Like, we're talking National Taiwan Normal University and National Taiwan University, both for Chinese literature. He's won a Super Teacher Award, too, so it's not just theory with him. He's actually out there shaping young minds every day.
That's interesting. So he's walking the walk, not just talking about it.
Exactly. And the book itself is really fascinating. It's not some abstract philosophical thing. It's very much rooted in his real-life experiences. Things that happen in the classroom, personal anecdotes, reflections on what education really means. It's a nice blend of the personal and professional.
I like that. So it's relatable then, not just some high-minded lecture from on high.
Right. It's very grounded. And you can see that in how other educators have responded to it. Like Yu Huijin, the fairy teacher. She calls it action chicken soup. I love that description.
Action chicken soup. That's good, yeah. So it's comforting, but also like a kick in the pants to actually do something.
That's it. And Cheng Husheng, the guy behind the Learn, Think, Act pedagogy, he really highlights the practical advice Ouyang gives. And his background is all about active learning, critical thinking, actually using what you learn. So when he praises the book for having concrete steps, like being proactive, diligent, learning all the time, thinking critically, and taking action, well, that tells you something.
Yeah, it's not just feel-good fluff. There's some real meat to it.
Right. And then there's Shen Yaki, the God teacher and God mommy. She really connects with how Ouyang tells stories. She mentions being totally captivated by the narratives, like the one about the basketball practice.
I'm curious about that. What was it about that story in particular?
Well, Shen Yaki seems to appreciate how he uses those everyday, relatable things to make a bigger point. Like the basketball practice story. Maybe it's about the dedication and repetition it takes to get good at something. That resonates with anyone, right? Whether you're an athlete or working towards any goal. And she also mentions his analogy about the water bottle and habits.
Oh, yeah. The one about punctured water bottle slowly leaking really paints a picture, doesn't it? Like, even small bad habits can damage your reputation over time.
Exactly. It's the kind of image that sticks with you. And Shinyaki brings up some of Ouyang's quotes, too, like that one, "Your so-called talent is often the monotonous practice of the strong." That really flips the script on talent, doesn't it?
It does. It's like saying what we see as effortless talent is actually just a ton of consistent work that might seem boring from the outside.
Right. And it's a huge message about sticking with things. Then you've got Lin Yukin, an elementary school teacher, and she's blown away by Ouyang's energy. Like, he's always on the go, has this big online presence. She's curious about what his secret is, And the book apparently reveals that it's his dedication to his students and his ability to turn challenges into teaching moments.
So he's not just going through the motions, he's living it and bringing that to the classroom.
Yeah, and that kind of authenticity can really connect with students. And then last but not least, you have Guojin Cheng, another junior high school teacher who also writes, and he basically wishes he'd read this book 10 years ago. He thinks Ouyang is redefining what it means to be a teacher.
Interesting. How so?
Well, Guojin Cheng is really impressed with Ouyang's creative teaching methods. He talks about the Candlewood retreats, the Qin Army role-playing thing Ouyang does. It's a historical event, and using role-playing is such a great way for students to really understand what happened and who the players were. He also mentions Ouyang using Line, the messaging app, for parent-teacher conferences.
That's pretty innovative, meeting parents where they are, so to speak.
Right. It shows Ouyang's willingness to think outside the box and try new things to make learning more engaging and effective.
So what we're seeing here from all these educators is that this isn't just a book of theories. It's full of practical insights and relatable stories that encourage you to really take charge of your life.
Exactly. It's about being intentional in your actions and your mindset, choosing to go after what you want instead of just accepting what is.
So thinking about this book and what everyone's saying about it, I want you to think about a time when you maybe settled for something that was okay, not bad, but not really what you wanted.
I think that's a great question. And it makes me think about what contributed to that feeling of settling. Ouyang's book, even just through these recommendations, seems to point to the power of consistency,
Hmm.
you know, putting in the work day after day. And it also seems to highlight the importance of looking outside our usual circles for inspiration. And he embodies that himself. I mean, he's dedicated to his work. He's always learning new things.
Yeah, it's like his peers are saying he's committed to writing, he's coming up with these new teaching methods. It really shows that avoiding mediocrity doesn't have to be about some big dramatic change. Sometimes it's about those small, consistent things we do every day.
Right. And at the end of the day, it really is a choice. Wu Yang's title itself is like a challenge. Is mediocrity okay with you as the main theme of your life story? If not, what are you doing to change it?
So as we wrap up here, I'm going to leave you with this. What kind of annotation are you writing for your own life right now? Is it a story of growth and passion and hard work? Or is it, maybe a little quieter, shaped by fear of stepping outside your comfort zone? Liang Lizigong definitely gives us all something to think about.